hair.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back from Memorial Day weekend. We are live with Hot Jobs episode 206. Thanks for joining, Tara.
Hey everyone.
So if you are joining and you're already in, please drop us a comment and let us know where you're joining from. And if you are in the midst of a career transition, let us know what you're looking for. And the location where you're looking for, very important. Please just don't say remote. On its own, it's not a job. That's a work arrangement with your employer. So before I get into the content for today, I'd love to talk about our partners at CalmC Psychotherapy. Sharon Prager and the team created this practice to support first responders, military, and veteran communities. So they have tailored their practice, their therapists, and everything they do to support our community. And so they have a deeper understanding than your standard run-of-the-mill therapist. And they work with TRICARE, they work with OneSource, all the other stuff. So they are remote, they're able to work from anywhere, and they have a bunch of military spouses they hired from us as well. So if you are considering getting some support, you may need some support, please check out CalmC Psychotherapy. They've been fantastic to work with, and we are supportive. So we've got some people. We've got Dion coming in from Dallas, Fort Worth. I would ask Dion, how you feeling about week one of the NFL season? I'm feeling it's fly, Eagles fly, as those Cowboys are flying their way up to Philadelphia, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia. And we got John saying, hey, so John. Good to see you. Good to see you today as well. So, all right. So, Tara, we had a topic we wanted to bring up today that's kind of aligned with my posts from earlier.
Yeah.
That I mistakenly stepped one on the other. I had them scheduled for 2 days, I thought. But it was about this journey to mentorship, to sponsorship, this journey to getting referrals and getting your foot in the door. And, first of all, I wanted to talk about the benefit of a referral and what that means. And so, I know that I've shared that I got the data from LinkedIn that if you get a referral, you are 10 to 11 times more likely to get a job, and it makes sense. But can you speak to that a little bit, Tara?
Yeah, so I think from a recruiting standpoint, when you have someone who hands you a resume and says, hey, I think this person would be great for this role, you kind of have a co-signer. You have someone who is probably pre-screening this candidate in some way, and you are getting this information likely from a trusted source. So when someone comes to me with a recommendation or a referral, I would probably only take them seriously if they're a trusted source, right? If there's some random person on the street who hands me a resume, that's not a trusted source, and that's not a referral. A referral is coming from a vested third party who I think is a trusted source. So if you sent me a candidate for a role and said, hey, I think this person would be perfect, then yeah, I could see why I would be much more likely to take the next steps with this candidate, because I trust you and your judgment and how you would screen this person. I already know that they're reliable, that they're probably responsive. So I think that's part of that 8 to 10 times more likely to be hired, because it's coming from a trusted source.
And you look at it, if I send you something, you're gonna look at the resume, and if it's done well, they're probably going to at least get the phone screen, which automatically vaults them over all the other candidates. No, that's fantastic. I think the next part of this conversation, which ties into what we discussed this morning on my posts, was this path to mentorship and sponsorship, right? And what that really means. And I don't think people get this a lot. And you had a great analogy regarding my soon-to-be 13-year-old daughter's best friend. And I guess her friend got introduced to is 12 and got introduced to like a 12-year-old boy via text. And the boy, never having seen her, said, "Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend?" And she's like, no. And he kept looking and looking and looking. And she's like, "Look here, kid. I don't like you. I don't know you. Not only am I not going to be your girlfriend, if you keep harassing me, we're just going to be acquaintances."
Smart.
"Why do you use such big words?" And which made him even drop lower down the chart. But I think you had a great point when you said that sounds like you get on a first call and someone's like, "Can you give me a job, or will you review my resume?"
Right.
You don't want to jump right into the "will you be my girlfriend," or "will you hire me? Will you put your name on the line?" Because if I refer someone to you, right? If I refer someone to Tara and I send you someone that is a dope, I use that I'm in the 13-year-old language, but like someone that doesn't put forth the effort, they're not a good fit, they're not responsive, or any of those things, then my credibility is shot. The next time I send you someone, you're gonna be like, now do I really need to?
No, I'm not sure.
Right. And so I want people to understand that and kind of keep that in mind, that when you ask for a referral, you are asking for someone to put their name and their reputation on the line. Right. And so that usually doesn't happen first call unless we offer it. Right. So first call, you come prepared, you know your stuff, you've done your informational interviews, your profile's put together, you ask questions that show you're ready to ask. You may be that much of a rock star that we're like, "Hey, you know what? I may have something. Send me your resume." Perfect. Like, that's great. I'm offering. But for you to say, "Hey, can I send you my resume?" or "Hey, can you get me this job?" on the first call is not appropriate. And so that's what I want people to think about. And, I wanted to also bring up like the difference between a mentor and a sponsor. And what I mean by that is a mentor, right, is someone that you can call, ask questions. They're somewhat invested. They'll answer questions, give you tips, give you advice. That's a mentor. A sponsor is someone that's actively advocating for you, right? So like a mentor, you may say, "Hey, I saw this job. Do you think it'd be a good fit?" Sure, it might be. "Would you refer me?" Okay, like that's a mentor. A sponsor is like, "Who can I introduce you to in my network?" Right? "Let me see if there's any jobs coming up that would be a great fit. Like, let me introduce you to these other companies." That's a sponsor. And so when we talk about the process going all the way through like stranger to mentor to sponsor, understand there's a give and take there. They're saying thank you a lot. If they tell you to do something, you've got to do it. If they're like, "Hey, listen, I think you'd be a great fit for this role. Do me a favor, read War and Peace and let me know how it goes," right? Like there's 3 levels of response there. It's like, "No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that much work. That sounds horrible." Well, you're out, right? 2 is, "I'm going to get the Cliff Notes." Well, it's not going to pass a surface level. So you're low effort. And there's 3, you go buy War and Peace and you read the whole thing and you send them a picture of you holding the book. Right? And you're like, "Hey, thank you for the advice. I read War and Peace. This is what I learned." Like, boom. What do you need? Anytime, but it takes work. And so that's why in today's post I shared with people, I now give people something to do before I get to the phone call because I don't want to waste my time.
Is it read War and Peace?
Does anybody want to read War and Peace and for a phone call? Let me know in the comments. I'll tell you what, if someone tells me they will read War and Peace and send me a picture of them holding War and Peace, I will take phone call.
Someone will.
Thank you for selling me out there, Tara.
I'm just curious on what the homework is.
She's advocating for all of you. No, my homework's usually, have you spoken with people in that job?
Yeah.
Right. Have you 3 people, 5 people, 7 people, have you done this? Like, have you gone back into the transition center and gotten additional resources? Have you used these nonprofits? All these things are all things that will make you better for your transition, regardless of my call. But most people don't do it. I like over 90% are like, they just wanted the easy button. So they wanted me to just say, hey, I'm a veteran, you're a veteran. Can you get me a job? And that's not the way it really goes. So no, I can't until you've proven that you are worth me putting my network and my credibility on the line for you. And that only comes after continued engagement. So you've got some good comments here. So I do see a trend. So I've got LinkedIn users saying they're in Vegas looking for something different. Unfortunately, that doesn't give us much to work on. So, because the other one is I've got looking for jobs in Midland, Texas or Lubbock, Texas. So Jesus, again, that doesn't give us something to look for, to help with.
What kind of jobs? What kind of opportunities?
You got to help us help you.
Yeah.
Right?
If there's any opportunity, put that. I'm looking for any opportunity in X.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the local 7-Eleven might have something. I used to chat about this with Jennifer Goodman. She worked for, can't remember the name of one of the largest contractors that does like laundry cleaning and development of uniforms.
Cintas.
That's it. Maybe that's it, I think. But
yeah,
it's one of those. But she's like, you really want to go anywhere for the right opportunity? All right. I've got this laundry distribution and collection manager in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Oh,
beautiful.
No, I don't want to do that. Well, then you really don't want to go do anything for the right opportunity. So like narrow it down. So I just encourage people to like do the work and, figure things out. And for James, looking all over the place, again, I don't see what you're looking for. So make sure you start including the types of roles and don't have it be in 3 different fields, right? If you're telling me 3 different locations, 3 different fields, that means you haven't done the work to choose one, right? We need you to do that. Make yourself a best candidate in one of those fields, and then the locations will figure themselves out. Speaking of figuring things out, this is called Hot Jobs, and we're at minute 13. And so people want to figure out what kind of skill bridge opportunities do we have available right now?
We have a lot of skill bridge opportunities. And first, I'm going to give all of you some homework if you are looking for a skill bridge opportunity. First things first, go to our website, sign up for our skill bridge pool. I email the pool anytime that there are new skill bridge opportunities, or if there's an opening that wasn't listed before. A lot of times they are the first people to learn about the opportunity. So if you are looking for a skill bridge, go to our website, sign up for the skill bridge pool. And so today I'm going to be talking about 2 different great companies to work with. The first one is going to be Datadog. I know I've talked about them before, but our friends at Datadog really have a great opportunity here for their technical support engineer. The skill bridge itself is remote. It is a customer-facing help desk type of role, which can help get you in the door over at our friends at Datadog, a very rapidly growing global company. For this particular role in SkillBridge, you must be able to be proficient in Python or Bash, Java, be able to debug lines of code, and have a foundation in Linux. The rest, the Datadog team, has a wonderful onboarding program to get you acquainted with all of the other skills that you need. You can apply, again, at our website. Make sure you have your tailored resume in order to qualify for that role. Remember, this is a SkillBridge role, not a full-time opportunity. This is for SkillBridge.
Can I add a couple of things? So one, when I first got the outreach from Datadog saying they wanted to, work with us, I was like, oh, what a silly name. I know who they were.
Yeah.
Oh wait, multi-billion-dollar tech company.
Huge.
big effing deal. Like,
Huge.
so if you were to try to apply to full-time jobs at Datadog, it will be 100 times harder because every data tech person out there wants to work in a place like Datadog. And so SkillBridge is the transitioning military pipeline for non-traditional candidates into these roles. So if you are in your last 6 months, your last 180 days of service, U.S. military service, or somewhere approaching it, and you will be approved to do a SkillBridge or Army Career Skills Program internship, then you should go ahead and apply or reach out to Tara, because I can't say it enough. Like, getting your foot in the door to some of these companies is close to impossible once you're out. I mean, I talk to people like ServiceNow and other, they get 800 to 1,000 applications for every job within a week.
Yes.
Like, what are our odds at that point when we look different, when our resumes are different? We don't look exactly like a candidate. So please keep this in mind. If you know anybody that has those technical skills that are getting out,
Absolutely.
send them Tara's way.
Absolutely. And just real quick, one of the questions we get asked is like, how far, what is the website? Up here. That's why we're always pointing up.
Right there. I'll even zoom us in. See, now you can see it even better. Right there.
And us really close.
I'm just going to zoom that back out because my head is really shiny.
Our next SkillBridge opportunity is going to be with our friends at customer.io. We have five SkillBridge positions, all in different departments with our friends at customer.io. This is also a remote SkillBridge opportunity, and the roles include everything from business development to operations to marketing to legal to revenue. So if you have an interest in any of these areas, their team did a fantastic job with the job descriptions up at our website under the SkillBridge page. Full description, and many of them, they just want someone who's eager to learn and has a little bit of experience in each role, but you don't need to be a marketing executive to be the marketing operations SkillBridge intern. They want someone who's eager to learn, who is coachable, who's a team player. So go ahead and read those descriptions. And if you have any questions on if you qualify or if you would be a good candidate, reach out to us. We are more than happy to help with those types of questions. So please check out all of our SkillBridge roles up at our website. And remember, signing up for the pool gets you access first.
I love it. And I can't tell you how many people say they're looking for a remote opportunity for their next career. If you are looking for remote, and they have been dwindling out here,
they are.
This is a fully remote company that is growing rapidly, and 5 different roles that the internship is remote, and they fully intend to hire, as every one of our partners does. They fully intend to hire at the end of the internship if you pass well. So please check out customer.io. Check out the roles at HireMilitary.us. I'm going to point it that way. And, take the reins. I know that the roles may sound different than your traditional project manager or HR manager that you think you know. I will tell people that you just got to get your foot in the door and excel. And you can navigate more effectively from there, especially if there's anything having to do with money, revenue, customer, client relationships, all that. So please check it out. And we've got some tips here, or some questions. We've got Sean Pace Hall saying, looking at Dallas, Fort Worth, specifically Naval Air Station, Fort Worth, defense related preferred. So what I would tell you, Sean, is that I don't know how big NAS Fort Worth is, but I can't imagine it's too huge. What I would tell you is to start doing research into what defense contractors operate there. Like, you can look and find out. And if any of the big ones, like the Lockheeds, the Boeings, like all those big ones, they all have veteran program managers. And so what I would do is check out the Lockheeds, check out the Boeings, check out the Booz Allens and all the others, and reach out to their program managers for veterans or military program managers, and let them know. That's the easiest way in the door. The other thing is to start networking with people that work in NAS Fort Worth and the Dallas-Fort Worth area for those contractors. You can find people on NAS Fort Worth and then start connecting to them. It's a great way to get those referrals. in the door. And many have referral bonuses, so that even could earn them a few $100. We got some others. We've got, how about doing an internship outside of SkillBridge? What I will share is that the SkillBridge program allows transitioning military in their last 180 days to do internships, apprenticeships, OJT, job shadowing, training anywhere in the country, typically for 2 to 3 to 4 months, right? Anywhere from like 2 to 4 months, depending on rank, branch of service, all the other stuff. The difference in SkillBridge is you are still receiving all your full military pay and benefits. And so the employer, the host, is not allowed to compensate them. When you start talking about other internships, you're thinking about like summer internships and stuff like that, then those interns are required to be paid. Otherwise, the company would be not in compliance under the Fair Labor Standard Act. So, that's the difference with SkillBridge. And then let's see. We've got help desk anywhere that's hiring. I will tell you, Damien, that there are a lot of jobs. The challenge is going to be remote, but it should still be fine. Help desk should fit. I would tell you to just start networking. And Damien, if you are a veteran, start reaching out to veterans in the companies that hire to talk to them about it. All right. So I've got some SkillBridge opportunities and some potential future direct hire opportunities you've never heard before. Okay, well, you hear it every week from me. They're my favorites don't tell the other companies, but there's some of my favorites at Defense Logistics Agency Finance. And in fact, I just got a text from the commander at Fort Gregg Adams. We're going to find out a way to get down there again soon. But DLA Finance has SkillBridge and direct hire roles with an asterisk on the direct hire roles in 6 locations. So they've got Battle Creek, Michigan, where Master Sergeant Brad Theroff just is close
almost
his
end of the week.
End of the week. You've got Columbus, Ohio. You've got New Cumberland, PA. You've got Philadelphia, PA. You've got Richmond, Virginia. You've got Fort Belvoir, Virginia, and a little bit if you have accounts receivable experience in San Antonio, Texas. And so they've got in their finance section an open batch of roles as a financial analyst, as a business analyst, as a financial liaison. All 3 roles are pretty freaking amazing. All have a direct pathway at some point to federal jobs, GS level roles that at the rank commensurate to your education and experience. So those ones do not require specific degrees, but it do require some experience working with the finance side of the world. But I remember I spoke to one of the DLA finance team, and she was a supply clerk for the Navy, and she was a purchasing officer, a purchasing agent, or purchasing officer in one of her assignments, and that was enough to get her foot in the door. And then in a matter of a few years, it was like Duke, right up the system. I think she's now leading the section. She's one of the sections she originally worked in. So that's fantastic. So those are in all those locations: financial analyst, financial liaison, business analyst. And then if you by chance have an accounting degree, or at least 24 combined credits of accounting and business law, with 18 of them in accounting, then you could apply to be accountant or an accountant systems, SkillBridge or direct hire role at DLA Finance in all the same locations. Now, here's the thing. I talk about the asterisk next to the jobs. We had one of our veterans get hired. Actually, no, now they're in the reserves. They got an offer in a matter of a few weeks using Rapid Hiring Authority just prior to COVID, right? So DLA Finance, their leadership is leaning forward. They really want to bring more of our community to an agency that directly supports the warfighter, so it makes sense. And so that they plan to use Direct Hire Authority, Rapid Hire Authority to hire qualified candidates as soon as they are able. So what does that mean for you? It means if you apply to any of those roles via HireMilitary.us, right, then we will screen the resume briefly. And if you appear like you might have the qualifications, we rack and stack them in a database all ready to go, so that as soon as they get the go-ahead to make the hire, we send them over 100, 150, 200 people. Let's fill them all with veterans. Let's fill them all in a matter of weeks before the hiring authorities go away. So that is the intent. So if you are interested and have that financial background at all, please go to HireMilitary.us and apply online. Tailor the resume first. All right. So let's see if we have any other good comments. Perfect. So I've interviewed with Lockheed, Raytheon, and Sierra Nevada, going through their military talent acquisition teams, just trying to get some extra pointers.
Great.
So my extra pointers, Sean, would be to send thank you notes to all of them, every person you've interviewed with after the fact. Send them a thank you note. And then aside from talking to the military talent people that are kind of a little bit outside the system, there's still a great pipeline. Start looking on LinkedIn for veterans that work at those companies and ask them for advice. You're in a career transition. You're looking for some advice. You'd love to connect and maybe get some advice. And you'll see that a bunch of them will say yes, and they may have an internal view of what's open, or they may be able to refer you for those jobs. A lot of times people working in the talent acquisition field don't get referral bonuses or can't refer people directly. They just got to provide the resume, but an internal employee can. So keep that in mind.
Good point.
All right. What do we got? Any final things to wrap up, Tara?
Well, I think a couple of things. I think in the comments, if you are a veteran who has some experience in your particular workspace and you are open to receiving some questions from people in their transition, for example, if you work in cybersecurity and you are open to people asking you some questions about how you got in the door, what your experience is, put that in the comments so that people can reach out to you. As far as finding, it can be challenging, to find someone in the particular role you're looking for. So if you are open to having someone contact you and having a quick conversation, whether that's on the phone or an email or LinkedIn, put that in the comments so that you can help build your network as well. I think the second thing is just housekeeping. Make sure that you're following HireMilitary on LinkedIn and Mike and myself so that you're receiving all of the best information on how to tailor your resume, on open roles, and just overall career advice.
And I think the only other thing I'll add, I was just looking it up, is that June 5th from 7 to 8 p.m. is my next LinkedIn presentation with the USO. So I'll make sure I get that posted soon. It's a brief 1 hour to talk about what kind of content to share and everything else like that. And then within a couple weeks after that, we'll have the full 2-hour episode. And if you're dialing in and you are in the military and you want to provide this training to your service members, to your team, you can always reach out. I can do webinars. I can also come out and present training to your teams. And it usually can just be done on a GPC. So keep that in mind. And with that, I would like to say thank you to all of you for joining us. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.